Hey, if you know anything about the Cardinal Cowboy, I love to make people smile. Stay tuned, everybody. We've got an expert. That's what he does for a living. Welcome, everyone, to Your Little Castle Show, where I get to help other people get their word out about what they do, because some of us think we're funny. I think I'm funny. If you think you're funny and you know it, clap your hands. I don't know how many people think they're funny, but they're not. Do you have to deal with that very often?
Oh man, all the time, and we just push through it. So
we just push through it, everybody. Welcome to the studio, Myson Dease. He is the owner and founder of Crackin Up. Let me put that back up there. There it goes. Crackin' the World Up Comedy. Making the world crack up. CrackinTheWorldUp.com. Website's coming. I'm going to help you with that too. So back in the day, I had some aspirations. I was a semi-pro comedian. I wasn't full comedian because I wasn't getting paid, but I thought I was funny. We did some fun stuff though. And can I give you my favorite joke? Here it is, everybody. I hold a picture of Brad Pitt up and I say, "Ladies, I'm a little bit tired of it. People come up to me all the time and say, you know what? Brad Pitt looks a lot like you, cowboy." And I say, "See what I have to deal with?" And help him pick. See, he's laughing. I don't know if he's just doing that to be nice or he thinks that's really funny.
I think you look like Brad Pitt.
But I see when I do the face too. I got to do the face.
Let me see it. Oh my goodness.
That's
the
it right there.
Similarities are amazing.
Right. And I would hold a picture of he and I together, and there back in the day, Brad Pitt looks a lot like the Cardinal Cowboy.
I can believe it. That's maybe who they mistake you for when
they probably they're like, Cardinal Cowboy's not available. I guess we'll take this Brad Pitt guy.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. So, but with that, we have an expert comedian. He puts on shows all over the country.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And lots of great information here we're going to share about that. But I like to figure out what is it causes people to do the things that they do professionally. And so my first question to you is, what led you to the world of comedy?
Well, I realized that, in the amateur comedy world, there are a lot of politics. There are a lot of people that want to, that are funny but can't get on stage and can't, get in front of the crowds because, you got other people that want to allow, I would say stingy. So I created a platform with myself being a comedian myself, where we can get amateur comedians the room and the space to do what they love to do. So that's what we do.
So the people who are actually funny, like myself, can say, "Hey,
exactly."
We talked about it. We're talking about putting together a show. I think we're going to make that happen.
Yeah, we will.
And I did a show 20 years ago, maybe. I don't know. I was working at Anheuser-Busch, and my boss showed up, and everybody showed up, and they packed the house. And it was like 75% my friends.
Yeah.
So they put me second to last.
Yeah.
Because they knew the audience was there to see me, so they don't want to leave early after I get done.
Yeah.
And then they put somebody after me in case I messed up.
Oh, is that right?
And I didn't change. I changed my whole routine. I had a couple jokes, but they're like, "Carter, why did you do the stuff that was funny that you had before?"
Yeah.
But the guy after me goes, "Well, that was a heck of a show, wasn't it, everybody?"
Yeah.
But it was a blast, and so they had the cleanup guy. Is that a strategy? You always have one of your better comics at the end.
Yeah.
So you send everybody home with a good.
Yeah, you want to put the headliner. That's what we call them at the end. But I think in a case like yourself, where you are funny, you just have to brush the cobwebs off, and you got the following. We will make the show about you, and I would just pressure you to work on your routine so we can make it fun. There's no sense of putting anybody after you if you're the main attraction. So it just depends, man, on the floor of the show.
All right. Well, what is it that got you so involved with this? Is this what you decided you wanted to be as a kid, or
yeah, as a kid?
Where did comedy come up?
So
for you?
I started as a kid, entertaining my family as Michael Jackson. I was about 200 pounds lighter back then, so I kind of looked like a little Mike. And I would 4 or 5 years old, I would do that in front of my aunts and uncles. And then eventually, I was a class clown, and then making a teacher laugh as well.
That's kind of a prerequisite, isn't it? If
you're I feel like most class clowns can be comedians if they want it, But and then I grew older, and people kept, get on stage, and I finally did it, and it was life changing.
Really? Mm-hmm. How did it change your life? Because then you got the feedback from the crowd, and you said, "This is what I want to do."
Well, I feel like when God puts you here to do something, and you finally find out what it is, and it's been staring you in your face your whole time, like you're a Cardinals fan, so you're okay with being around a bunch of people, and just putting on the show.
All right.
Same thing with comedy. Like once you find out what you want to do, it's like a light that shines for you, and that's what happened to me when I got into comedy. I feel like God just led me, and I tried other things. I thought I was a basketball player, thought I was a rapper, thought I was a singer.
Okay.
But comedy is what flows the best and what people tend to appreciate, especially nowadays when we got a lot of stuff going on. So, comedy is therapy for people, and me as well.
Well, if it wasn't for comedy, a lot of people may know a little bit about my background, if you will. But my mom and dad would be like, "Time for you to go to bed." So I'd go to bed, and I flipped on David Letterman, or I flipped on Johnny Carson, or Jay Leno, and I would stay up till midnight every night just watching. And so that's kind of where I grew an affinity for that. Where did you get some of your impetus? Who were the influencers in your life?
The first person I ever watched, believe it or not, was Jim Carrey. In grade school, and I would go to school, and I would act like Jim, Ace Ventura days, and then
right.
I would say after Jim, we Cedric the Entertainer, St. Louis home guy.
St. Louis.
Jamie Foxx, Will Smith, and then we went to, Kevin Hart was a good one, Will Ferrell. It's just like I'm like a gumbo pot when I'm on stage of people. Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you got influence from
yes.
all of those guys, and those are some classic guys there. And Cedric he's a St. Louis guy too.
That's right.
We got our picture up here on the wall of John Goodman, giving the plaque for my mom when they named the building after her. But start naming some guys that are from St. Louis. Did Red Fox have some kind of an influence from St. Louis?
He did. Sanford and Sons, man. That dude. He was just able to play. The way he walked was funny. The way he grabbed at his chest, everything about Red was funny. And he's so St. Louis with comedy. It's just a typical St. Louis person. When you think of St. Louis comedy, would be like a Red Fox,
Well, those are some pretty cool influencers to comedic, not like social media influencers. We know those guys, but we're talking about the people that actually had an influence on your perspective and their time. What kind of style or what kind of type of comedy do you think it is you categorize yourself?
A lot of my shows I host, so a lot of that stuff is like ad-libbing and just going off the top of the head, like just pretty much freestyling, do a lot of crowd work, messing with people. So don't sit up front. And then, if I have a set, then I talk about just life growing up in St. Louis, inner city, that's relatable to everywhere, just different things, man. Talk about being bullied as a kid. And, I went into boxing and I still got bullied. It didn't make a difference. So it's just different things, that I do. You talk about childhood a lot.
Okay, yeah, those experiences that you have kind of influence. And we were talking here, I started pulling up some of my comedy routines, but we might put this together. We're going to put together it's be a charity thing too. We'll raise some money for a great organization. But you know how to put on a show.
I do.
How many shows have you done now?
In the last 5 years, I've done over 100 shows in about 10 different cities.
Okay.
Yeah, that I produced, that I put together, that I maintained and made sure the DJs were in place and putting balance in the different comedians out so it could be a complete show. Because Cracking the World Up is more about the show than the comedian, so it's the experience that we give the people that we focus on,
Okay, yeah, because literally, if it wasn't for comedy, I think half of us would have done something
different,
bad.
Yeah,
maybe,
a lot
right?
of stuff.
But you got to have that influence in your life, and so we want to have the positive that make people laugh. And I didn't care as a kid if I was the butt of the joke. I just like to see the smile come on people's faces.
You just like comedy, period.
But just making people laugh. Where did you develop your first routine from? Was it like you were watching other people? Was it life experiences you mentioned there?
Little backstory.
Is it always changing?
It is. It's always changing. I did it for survival before.
Okay.
My mom moved in a neighborhood that was kind of rough. Okay, and I'm from the south side of St. Louis, and I was kind of, a little bit. We had it easy growing up. she moved in a horrible place, and the guys tried to jump me one day, and I made them laugh, and you know, I didn't have to worry about it no more. So it was just a survival tactic for me.
It was a survival tactic, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, I grew up and I realized that people, you can generally relate to people easier after you make them laugh.
Yeah.
So the first thing is, let me get this guy laughing, and now we can talk. You know what I mean? So, especially just nowadays, everybody's frowned up and, you know, looking at their phones. If you can take them off their phones for 45 minutes as a comedian,
you got them.
You got them.
Okay. Yeah, I like that because it's a means of communication and how to develop relationships and get somebody on your side a little bit too. Pretty cool stuff. These what do you call these? These comedy shows. These are shows, right?
Yes, sir.
And how do you decide who's on and where, is it by location or who's got the following, or what do you do to organize something like this?
It just depends on like what, you know, so I look at comedy almost like a catering business. Like if you ask for, you know, pork chops, or if you ask for shrimp, or if you ask for, you know, baked chicken, I provide it to the people that, you know, to the type of crowd that we're doing. So we do a crowd in Maplewood. I'll pick people that may be suitable for Maplewood. If we do a crowd for, you know, I don't know, Las Vegas, I'll get people that can do bigger crowds. And if we, you know, because I've even done churches and clean comedy shows, so we don't want anybody up there, you know, like you. Not just joking, man. Somebody else will get up there.
And F this, F can't do that.
Yeah,
all
so
right, gotcha.
It just depends on the crowd, man. What we provide. So.
Yeah. So you cater to the needs of the audience, and then
Yes,
to target to the people that, just like marketing, everybody, you got to give people what they want. Well, let me go through here in a second. We're going to take a quick break here, show you some of the fun we do in the community that was not comedic based, even though I do crack a couple jokes. You listen for them. Now that you're paying attention, you might go, oh, that was an attempt at humor from the Cardinal Cowboy. And so he might keep working at this someday. Keep working at it. But and then we're going to come back and we're going to go over some of the past shows and then what you can kind of expect when you get a show with my buddy here, Myson Dease, who's in the house. Everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey everybody, it's John Fogarty.
Thank you.
You're kind of a musician on the side, right?
Yeah, I'm going to sing a little bit later today, but not until after the golf.
Right. Summit, great organization. We love you guys. Great interview we had.
Yeah, we had a great time on the podcast.
That was fun, man. That aired on ABC about 6 months ago.
Yeah, probably 6 months ago. It's right fall, I think. So yeah, maybe a little more.
Well, you guys do good work. Tell me why you love this event here. You're supporting Will.
Yeah, so Will Be Inspired golf tournament, veterans, first responders, 100% everything goes right back into it. So always support the best and try to take care of ours and take care of us. Thank you, guys.
That's awesome. There we go. All right, everybody. We'll be back for more. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, It's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey, we're looking for the small business owners and leaders in our community to be on our show. This is the Your Little Castle show. We air 3 times a week, every week on ABC, and we would like to put somebody you know, or maybe it's you, who's a business owner, to be on our show. You'll sit right here in our guest chair, right here, sitting here talking to us. We're going to put on the wall your website and everything about you, and highlight you as a leader. Fill out the form you see here on our website. It's bigleagues.com, and if you go to bigleagues.com, fill out this form. It takes just a couple seconds, and you can even schedule yourself right here. Schedule yourself to be on the show, and there is no charge for us to record you. There's no charge to be in the studio. Check it out if you would like to be on. Fill out the form again, bigleagues.com. This is where we can turn any interview into a series of clips. Check that out. Go to bigleagues.com. So there we go. Media makes the world go around. But magnetize your media. Pick up our book here. Yours truly wrote the introduction, the foreword. Cardinal Cowboy, #1 seller on Amazon. But you can see they even took my mug and put it in here. This is not the one where Brad Pitt looks a lot like me, but it's one of those. You'll find it if you do a Google search. With that, I want to see something. You put these are big time shows. You got. I'm going to just go up on the wall here for show everybody here what we've got. But if you take a look here, this is from your schedule from a little bit of last year. Is that right?
Yeah. So last year we did Dallas, and that was a good one. But we made it all the way to New Orleans last year. And this year we want to do Canada, and we want to go to Hawaii and stuff like that. So just trying to spread it around the whole world, man. And then when I learn Asian, when I can learn how to speak in it, we're gonna go to Asia. So
as soon as you learn how to speak Asian.
No, as soon as I do. Rosetta Stone is the masterpiece for me.
Okay.
And as soon as I can, get off into different languages, speak in Asian and Congo and different places that we'll go. But until then, they won't know what we're talking about. So we're just gonna stay at the places where they do English.
All right, gotcha. But that's a heck of a list over here. I wanted to show that to everybody. But everybody knows Dallas. Murfreesboro, I've heard of Murfreesboro. Springfield, Missouri. Memphis, all the way down to Farmington.
Yeah.
Greenville, South Carolina, Phoenix, Arizona, and New Orleans. Man, that's a heck of a. You get a little jet lag there? Were you flying all over the place?
Here's the thing, man. I'm afraid to fly.
Okay.
So if it's more than 13 hours, I'll fly. But a lot of these places I drove, but I did get tired of driving. I'll say that. But Farmington is one of the cities. Actually, Park Hill is a little town outside of Farmington. It's one of the cities we do one once a month. But everything else, man, we had a good time. We had a terrific time, and God is good for providing us with so many cities that we did.
Yeah, well, it's just having the influence that you've got there and making the connections there. You've got to know people in these cities to get these things done, right? This isn't somebody just walks up and says, come to our city.
No. Actually, a lot of these places, like I said, man, are just given to me from God, man. I just... if I walk into a place that I feel like that it would be good for a comedy show, I talk to owners and, like I said, we provide a product. So I'm selling the product as well, like door to door. If you're selling like roofing or whatever, it's the same thing with comedy. I'm selling the comedy. So
we got some St. Louis talent there.
Yep, we got Tenario Brown on this one, Andy Hamilton, we got Bree, Richie, and Andrew. That was actually one of my first shows out there in Park Hill. They did a good job.
Funny man, Myson right there.
Lady Mojo's up there, and then my ugly mug.
There you go. This is how you build your own empire, everybody. And comedy is such a necessary piece of our. A lot of people tell me though, and I'll get into this but I mean, isn't it true that the comedians are the ones who kind of have their heartbeat on the culture of our country and what the issues are, and they will make the jokes about those issues that are really pointing to the fact, say, hey, this needs to be paid attention to.
Oh, yeah.
And they're talking about censorship. Comedians don't like that idea.
Nah, man. So we talk about what everybody else doesn't talk about,
right?
Or afraid to talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, I try to stay off certain subjects. I mean, because you never know what people can believe in whatever. I feel like we're all going to the same destination, just different trains. I just don't talk about certain things, but I do get off into a lot of things. like Park Hills is one of those towns. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's back in the 70s, I would say. So it's kind of like, people are separate, but they come together for the comedy shows. And I rip them about being separate. We're from St. Louis, man. It's a melting pot here. I rip them. We talk about different things, and they always just laugh, and it eases the tension. But back to what you were saying, yeah, man. I'm blessed by God to get these shows.
Well, how many people find their path into this, and then they get into movies, and then they turn into other careers? Mm-hmm. What's your long-term goal? I'm put on the shows, being the producer. Mm-hmm. That's kind of at the higher level of this. How does that turn into your niche?
Well, you just hit it on the spot. I want to, be an actor and produce comedy shows at the same time. So I went to school for acting.
Really?
For a while, yeah. It didn't work out because they gave me a stipend check, and I spent that. But once I dropped out of college, I still wanted to do it. So that's one of the things that Crackin' the World Up will do eventually. We will produce movies, and I want to be a solo movie star as well. So kind of like Jamie Foxx did. I'm a good impersonator. So.
Yeah, well, how many times? Tell me. I heard a story about Harvey, Steve Harvey, and he just literally like.
Glad you said Steve.
Yeah. Steve, and he was in the middle of a town, and they said, if you can make it up here, you can be on, what's the Harlem?
Apollo.
Oh, the Apollo, yeah. Mm-hmm. And he said, if you can make it here, and he had like enough money for a one-way ticket to get there. Mm-hmm. And he waited around and didn't have anything to eat. And then he says, I'm just going to go out. He says, if you leave, you make sure you come right back because we don't, whatever it was. And he got back and then tore the house down. And that was his big break, if you will, that got him to where he made it big time. Mm-hmm. Is it a matter of persistence? Is it making the right connections? What is it you've seen the people that make it, the hoops they have to go to get there?
Well, never give up. I mean, consistency beats doubt any day.
Write that one down, everybody.
Yeah.
Persistency, consistency beats doubt.
Absolutely.
You're going to have doubt.
Yeah, because doubt is an emotion. And just because you don't feel like doing things this day or this day, you should still, consistently do it. I mean, this right here, coming here was hard for me to come here. I won't get into the backstory, but God is good, and
you mean coming to this studio for this show?
Yeah. Coming here was hard for me.
Yeah.
Because when I moved to St. Louis, we left Nashville, left our home in Nashville, moved to St. Louis. We thought it would be better, for us. And my mother, she's getting old, she's here, but just coming here was, it was overbearing to come to the studio today.
Today, okay.
So similar, how you said Steve, you talked about Steve.
Yeah.
Coming to the studio was something, and I think that people have to understand, don't do things based off emotion with your talent. No matter what the world looks like, you have to just continue to do what God set you here to do. Now you'll know if it's not for you. Now you don't know. Like, I can't be 56 trying to go to the NBA, but just just continue to stay consistent, and I can vouch for consistency beats doubt.
Consistency beats doubt, everybody, and so stick with it. That's just, gosh, how long I've been doing this Cardinal Cowboy thing, but that is so true. You've got to be consistent. Eventually, people figure out what you're doing, and if you have good intentions, you're helping people, then it will work out for you.
That's right.
What do you like specifically about the St. Louis market, or what challenges have you seen here? Why did you end up in St. Louis when it came down to it? Born and raised?
Yes. Well, not born. I was born in San Diego, but my mother came here when I was about 1. So St. Louis is a hidden gem. We got everything a big city has, but we don't have the population.
Right.
It's a hidden gem. And the comedy scene, we got a lot of funny comedians, but we just don't have so before Nelly, it's similar to when Nelly came out. It was good rappers, but we had that one that had to just crack everything, and then you had the Chingies and everybody. Same thing with comedy. You know what I mean? It's like a amazing underground scene. But there isn't enough backing, and that's what we're doing with Crackin' the World Up. That's the reason I came home, because I want to, provide that edge and, get that thing exposed, like in living color, with Jim Carrey and everybody. And so we got the talent. We just don't have the power behind it.
Well, that's what it seems you're bringing to the table here. You've done a ton of events and lots of more you can see on, and I'll put this up on the Instagram or put this up on the wall for everybody to see that. But looking through all of the different events that are out there and a lot of great information, just past shows and just the connections that are made there. And a lot of the connections you can tell that were made here that are a lot of it based here coming out of St. Louis. If you had any advice for a comedian, what would it be that you would say, here's the one mistake not to make, but here's the one thing that you definitely need to do if you're going to make it?
Well, I would put, if you're going to do, I feel like if you're going to do comedy, you should put it first. It's not a hobby. It's okay if you just want to do a couple shows or whatever, but anything that you do has to be like life or death. And I feel like comedy has to be like oxygen. You need comedy. You need to watch it. You need to listen. You need to be, involved in it. You need to, everything. And, and you can't, a lot of people give up after the first 6 months, but you just got to keep going, man.
Keep going. Never give up.
Never.
Do you become a bit of a consultant to some of the up and coming talent out there? And you see some guys who maybe they've got what it takes, but they're losing confidence or they're trying to build confidence.
Yeah.
What's some of the advice you give some of these guys?
I tell them to make sure that they work. Make sure you go to open mics. Make sure you can't, because a lot of people just that I've talked to, they just want to jump on stage. You know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of the up and coming comedians that have never done comedy shows or anything have to go to the mics, man. You have to go to the open mics. You have to go to the Heliums and the Funny Bones, and the different, open mics. Because if you don't, then you won't get the experience of being in front of a crowd and not making them laugh or something. You know what I mean? So
you've got to fall on your face a couple times.
Absolutely.
How you recover. So it's how you bounce back too. We talk about that too. It's not the error in the baseball game. It's not the crowd that you didn't make laugh. It's how you respond to that, and do you come back after that and keep going. Tell me a challenge you've overcome as a comedian that you were like, it was kind of a make or break for you. We got about a minute left here.
Okay. So with me, I had to do bad before I did good.
Really?
Yeah, and I did bad in front of everybody I knew in St. Louis. I mean, people from the second grade, teachers, ex-girlfriends, my mother's ex-boyfriends, my father's ex-girl. Everybody was there, man. And you have to do bad before you can do good. That's what I had to overcome.
And so there was a lot of learning that went into this, and you were willing to take those lumps and keep going.
Yeah, I'm a tough guy.
Never give up, like you said earlier, was the key to
absolutely
making it work for you too.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, we know we need some comedy in our world. Check them out. Go to crackintheworldup.com. Give my buddy Myson a call here, 314-583-3168. You can get a text message to you right there. Is that true?
Yes.
All right. Myson Dease, everybody. Stay tuned. This is your little castle show. Giddy up.